Assam was once densely covered almost throughout with extremely rich and productive natural forests. So, the mammalian fauna in Assam is very rich and varied. Out of 135 genera of land mammals in India, 85 genera, that is 63%, are represented in Assam, including the primates. The hills, foothills, and the lower valleys, where dense vegetation cover is still there, are inhabited by 9 out of 15 Indian non-human primate species. Of the 12 known primate families in the world, 3 families, Sarcopithecidae, Hylobatidae, and Lorisidae, occur in Assam. The non-anthropoid Sarcopithecidae are broadly divided into 2 subfamilies: Sarcopithecinae, the macaques, and Colobini, the langurs. The Sarcopithecinae have low cusp molars, eat mostly fruits, and have cheek pouches to store food for short periods. Cheek pouches are specialized sacs that open into the mouth opposite the molar teeth. Altogether, 4 species of macaques, namely the stump-tailed macaque, pig-tailed macaque, Assamese macaque, and rhesus monkey are found in Assam. Among primates of the macaque subfamily, a very rarely sighted primate is the stump-tailed macaque, Macaca arctoides, as it inhabits mostly in dense forests, in hills and plains. Stump-tailed macaques are dark brown with a very short, stubby, hairless tail and a pinkish face. The forehead is bald and the buttocks and genitalia are reddish. Though occurs in a few forest pockets in the plains of Upper Assam, its main populations are restricted to the forests of Karbi Anglong and Barail range of Kachar Hills, south of the Brahmaputra. Pigtail macaque, Macaca nemestrina. Pigtail macaques are olive brown with dark brown head top with a V-shaped black patch and a short, slender, thinly furred or naked tail. Its distribution is almost sympatric with the stump-tailed macaque, being limited to dense forest areas south of the Brahmaputra. Assamese macaque, Macaca assamensis. Although believed to be fairly common, recent field studies by primatologists instead confirmed its rarity. Sparsely distributed in the dense forests on both the banks of the Brahmaputra and in the temple precincts of Tukreshwari Hill in Gwalpara district. Rhesus monkey, Macaca mullata. As elsewhere in the country, the most common and abundant primate species in Assam. Besides forests and forest margins, it is also found in large numbers in many village woodlands and temple surroundings, often doing damage to crops in neighboring fields and household items. Slow loris, Nycticebus kukang, is the only primate found in Assam belonging to the Lorisidae family. Strictly nocturnal and critically endangered, it occurs in the evergreen and semi-evergreen forests south of the Brahmaputra, from Tinsukia to Hailakandi and Karimganj. Being nocturnal, it is difficult to estimate its exact population. However, its assumed population status is around 10,000. Among primates of the Colobini subfamily, 3 species of langurs are found in Assam: the golden langur, the capped langur, and the Fiery's leaf monkey. The langurs with longer tails are slender, agile, tree-dwelling, subsisting almost exclusively on leafy vegetarian diet, so sometimes called leaf monkeys. All Phyllophagous or leaf eaters require a substantial amount of food, and this specialized diet has necessitated a number of adaptations. In the case of langurs, these include particularly long intestines and a long lobular stomach. Unlike macaques, langurs have high cusp molars and no cheek pouches. Golden langur, Presbytis ghee. Golden langurs are of creamish and golden orange-white color, a black face with long pale beard and semi-erect crown hairs. The female coat is conspicuously orange on the sides of the hindquarters. Neonates are orange-brown, and the coat color changes after 3 months. The golden langur is an endemic and endangered species, being confined to western Assam and the adjoining areas of south-central Bhutan. In Assam, the distribution is limited to Kokrajhar, Bongaigaon and Dhubri districts, where the primate is confined between the Sankosh and the Manas rivers in the east and the Brahmaputra in the south. Its main distribution in Assam is the Manas Tiger Reserve. The rivers and mountains act as a physical barrier for the species to disperse outside this 3,000-kilometer distribution range. Its estimated population in the state is around 500 and around 1,000, including Bhutan Manas. Capped langur, Trachypithecus pilatus. The most common langur found in Assam, occupying a wide range of habitats on both banks of the Brahmaputra, with an estimated population of about 40,000, and so named because of the darkish cap of long, erect, coarse hairs directed backward. The upper cover of the body, from neck to tail, is grayish, tinged with light orange, and the lower part is creamish, often tinged with orange. They have a black face and dark gray or black hands and feet. This coloration, however, changes in different climatic conditions and habitats. Fiery's leaf monkey, Trachypithecus fiery. Not previously recorded in Assam, the species was first sighted by primatologist Dr. Anwaruddin Chaudhary in the Inner Line Reserve Forest of Hailakandi in 1986, and later by field researchers of Indo-US Primate Project in the Inner Line Forest Reserves of Kachar and Karimganj. Fiery's leaf monkey or langurs are grayish to black in coloration, with a ring patch around the eyes and around the upper and lower lips. The brow, hands and feet are dark black, and the upper arms, legs and tail are silvery gray. These primates have an extended crested cap which occurs in all ages and sex classes. The hind part is pinkish and hairless, with a bluish patch on the rectum area just below the tailpiece. Restricted to evergreen and semi-evergreen forests and bamboo thickets, they do not live in stable units, but are composed of smaller subgroups that split and rejoin daily. When a predator or encroacher is detected, they give a soft warning woo call, followed by a two-phased honking. They mainly feed on bamboo shoots, young leaves, fruits and insects, and spend almost the whole day in a single bamboo group. Hulock or white-browned gibbon, Hylobates hulock, is the only ape found in India and the Indian subcontinent. In Assam, the distribution is limited to the south bank of the Brahmaputra. Although it still enjoys a wide distribution range, its numbers are few in most places. Male hulock gibbons are black, with white eyebrows that slightly turn up at the end. Females are copper tan, with a whitish eyebrow band. The neonatal coat is milky white. By 9 months, the coat changes to grey and then dark grey. Female subadults change from black to grey and tan color of adult female. Like all apes, they are distinctive in great development of arms and tailless like other anthropoid apes. Gibbons inhabit primary evergreen and less seasonal parts of semi-evergreen forests in monogamous family groups of single male-female pairing, with offspring in a cohesive group. The average group size is 3, with a range from 2 to 6. Apart from monogamy, the gibbon's key attributes are elaborate songs, territoriality, a fruit-eating diet, and suspensory behavior, a blend that is unique among these primates. Both genders practice vocal duetting, a signature call, as a means of territorial defense and spacing display. The great duet singing of a pair of gibbons, a beautiful mystical sound, is one of the wonders of the primate world. While it is most commonly explained as a means of communicating between family groups and matters of territorial advertisement and defense, there is evidence that singing is crucial not only in forming a pair, but in maintaining and developing it. Hulocks do not wander at random through the jungle. Each group establishes itself within a particular territory. This home range is relatively small, which is constantly patrolled and defended. But occasionally, there are attacks and aggressive fights. Such encounters consist of singing and counter-singing. With males chasing each other. While the female, with unbelievable alacrity and acumen, takes her baby to a safer recluse up above the canopy line. This is followed by whoops and growls, more singing and counter-singing. Ultimately, the intergroup distance increases as the invaders leave to forage in their own home range. Since all primates have evolved from arboreal ancestors, traits associated with arboreality are a common link among them. All primate groups have a variety of ways in which they divide up their habitats so that each group have more or less exclusive food resources in a particular area. Groups occupying overlapping home ranges generally avoid each other. Home ranges may change, but core areas do not. Gibbons are probably the most territorial of all Indian primates. With hook-like fingers and flexible forelimb joints, gibbons are prototypical brachiators and use their long hands and legs to collect food selectively. Their feeding strategy is feeding all the way up to the fruiting trees and mostly feed on ripe, sugar-rich, juicy fruits. They selectively feed on 3 to 4 major fruiting tree species in each season. Gibbons' typical diet consists of fruits, leaves, buds, flowers, and animal prey, such as baby birds and birds' eggs. They are active for 8 to 10 hours of a day, starting at dawn and ending a few hours before sunset. Most intensive feeding and singing occur in the morning. The speed and agility with which gibbons swing through the jungle have aroused the astonishment and admiration of many a naturalist. Leaping from tree to tree and clinging on flimsy swaying branches demands split-second timing and exceptional agility. And such attributes are essential factors for survival of gibbons. The gibbon, with its much longer arms and very narrow grasping hands, seem to have been born for swinging through the tree crowns. The chief enemies of gibbon are said to be the panther and the python, but their well-developed vision and hearing and extreme alertness usually come handy as the best means of defense. But man, among all predators, plays his usual role as an exterminator in many different ways. The gibbon, as also other primate species, are persistently hunted for food and their beautiful fur, for ornamentations, medicinal and ritualistic usage and export, mostly by some of the tribal groups. The situation is further aggravated by hunting trips from the neighboring states of Nagaland, Mizoram, and to some extent Arunachal Pradesh. However, as elsewhere in India, all primate species in the heartland Assam, including the predatory rhesus and others of the family, are tolerated and protected by Hindu sentiments. A unique example of this could be witnessed at the hill temples of Tukreshwari in Gwalpara district. Assamese macaque troops here, with the Raja and Rani, are well looked after and groomed on an annual basis by the local community, with supplementary contributions and offerings from Hindu devotees. In Assam, except in areas of severe hunting pressure, habitat destruction is by far the most important factor contributing to the decline of all primate populations, including the most adaptive rhesus. As a result, the distribution range of the primate species has shrunk to a small fraction of the size what was about 40 to 50 years ago. It is heartening to note that there has been a definite and positive change both at government and non-governmental levels to initiate remedial measures for conservation of primates in Assam. More and more forest areas have been upgraded to reserve forest status and the existing ones to sanctuaries. A significant step in this direction is the upgradation of Holongapar Reserve Forest, located in Jorhat district, to a wildlife sanctuary in 1997. Named Gibbon Sanctuary, it is the only sanctuary in the country to be named after a primate, which is soon becoming an important center for primatological studies in the wild. The sanctuary is only about 320 kilometers from Guwahati and 25 kilometers from Jorhat and is connected with all-weather motorable roads. It covers an area of about 21 square kilometers of tropical semi-evergreen forest on the flat plains of the Brahmaputra. Though in plains, the forest area is out of flood reach, with a top canopy of a variety of majestic evergreen tall trees, predominant among them being holong, and excellent floral diversity. The Gibbon Sanctuary provides an ideal habitat for the arboreals. Besides other mammals and birds, the sanctuary has as many as 7 out of 9 primate species of Assam, including Hulok gibbon, others being slow loris, stump-tailed macaque, pig-tailed macaque, Assamese macaque, rhesus monkey, and capped langur. Gibbons are the life of the sanctuary. The distinctive soulful duet singing of the Huloks is still nostalgic to the people of Upper Assam, reminiscent of the days forest cover was thick and the wide-browed ape frolicked in the thick foliage of tall trees. As per earlier estimate, only 8.3 square kilometers of the forest reserve was suitable for the ape due to selective timbering in the early 1970s. However, since timbering has decreased over the years, favorable habitat for gibbons increased to about 9 square kilometers in the 80s. Considering the present habitat condition, it is estimated that there are around 130 gibbons with an average group size of 3. Earlier, as elsewhere in the state, poaching and habitat destruction was a serious threat to the forest, which is surrounded by tea gardens and human habitation, but no longer so, especially since its upgradation. Constant vigilance and patrolling by forest guards and people's participation have minimized the menace considerably. The main problem in the area instead is the broad gauge railway line, which has cut across the sanctuary, creating an effective barrier, especially to the movement of slow loris and gibbon. The line is more than 100 years old and is very active, as it is the main rail link for the entire northeastern region. The gravel road through the forest that connects Madhupur with Meleng is also used by neighboring tea estates and villagers, which frequently disturbs the wildlife population in the forest. A persistent and combined effort by both government and non-governmental agencies to counter the tendencies inimical to the destruction of habitats is the only remedy for the survival of the species, the primates notwithstanding. And for that, a movement to create a strong and sustained public awareness is the only option left before the nation. Fortunately, such a movement has already picked up its roots in Assam and elsewhere in the country.